The 16-bit console wars have been over since 1999, and while the Super Nintendo hasn't been produced in any official way since, the Sega Genesis has been. You think Sega doesn't produce consoles anymore, and that's true. What Sega does is they license various third-party companies around the world to reproduce the Sega Genesis. This is done commonly in countries which aren't as fortunate when it comes to gaming, such as Russia, Taiwan, especially China where consoles were actually banned there for 15 years, maybe even more, and most of South America, especially Brazil. An interesting fact is, Sega actually beat Nintendo in Brazil. The Master System beat the NES, the Genesis beat the Super Nintendo, and they're still beating Nintendo to this day because Nintendo doesn't produce products there anymore. Seems I know a whole lot about Brazil, gee, wonder why. The point I'm trying to get across is that the Sega Genesis is still being produced even in countries where gaming is religion, such as the US. In the United States, we have ATgames manufacturing the Sega Genesis again. And they're official too. They're not some knockoff product you find at a flea market for 10 bucks. There's a console version which has a cartridge port and wireless controllers, but the one I'm going to talk about is a handheld version. So join me for this video to review the Sega Genesis Handheld. The design of the Sega Genesis Portable is really cool. I like the black and blue design of it, and the controls are pretty good. You have 6 buttons, so no need to play Street Fighter with the start button, and a really nice D-pad. And it feels really nice while playing Genesis games. You also have other features such as a headphone jack, an AV out port which you can plug into your TV, and an SD card slot, which I'll get into later. So once you turn on the Sega Genesis Portable, you'll be greeted to a menu of 40 Genesis games and 40 other games. Now these other games can barely be considered games. These are absolutely terrible. These are on the level of Action 52 bad. Well, nothing comes close to Action 52 bad, but they're still horrible in general. Oh, let's play a classic like Mr. Balls. Yay. I have no idea how to play this. Guess I'll play a game with more hope in the titles such as Jack's P. I give up. These games are horrible, but that's not the reason why you bought this system. You bought it to relive the Genesis. After all, Genesis does what Nintendo don't. Wait, why would I say that? I'm a Nintendo fan, not a Sega fan. Scratch that, you bought it to relive Genesis memories. That's why you bought it. So once you play the games, they play really well. Something you'd expect from a Genesis Portable. The controls are nice, the screen's okay on it, and there's no lag at all. After all, didn't the Genesis have blast processing? But I love Nintendo 1999. How do you play games on it that aren't preloaded? Well, that's the SD card port I was talking about, because you can put ROMs on this, the bin file only, and I think you have to convert the SD card to the FAT format to play ROMs on your device. I checked various different kinds of games. Official games like Sonic 3, which is a masterpiece, works fine. Hacks do too, such as the awesome Sonic 2 Heroes, and unlicensed games work. If you have the urge to play Super Mario World that isn't Super Mario World on your Genesis, well, now's your chance. Now this all sounds too good to be true, right? Well, there are a few fatal flaws. For one, you can't save on this, which is a real shame. It's a device which is for emulation, so not having a saving feature of any sort sucks. There is one major killer on this handheld. The sound quality is atrocious. It sounds worse on some games than others. It's pathetic. Here, just take a listen. This is what Sonic the Hedgehog is supposed to sound like. And this is what Sonic sounds like when he's drunk. Yup, this is the kind of sound quality you get on a device that was released in 2014 of a 25-plus-year-old system. Yeah, the sound quality is atrocious on it, and it's something that easily could have been fixed, but nope. The system would have been perfect if it wasn't for the crappy sound quality of this. Now, would I recommend it? Well, that's kind of a hard choice. Everything on this system works fine except for the sound quality, but having the sound quality be this bad could be a killing point. Not being able to save your game too. If it's $40 or less, I'd say go ahead, pick it up. The handheld version only. I've seen reviews of the console version, and it's the exact same hardware. degraded sound quality included. So I just say skip the new version and get a used official Genesis. That being said, the Genesis Handheld is still a good system to have if you don't mind the sound quality, because the controls are good and you can play a ton of different Genesis games on it. Well, anyways, thanks for watching and keep calm and Dada on.